Hello, Natasha here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I have a power yoga creative sequencing class. We'll be moving in different directions. I will call right and left, try to follow along. Sometimes cueing is a challenge when you're not seeing my body in person. Do the best you can, be playful, have fun with it, don't take it too seriously, and meet me on your back. If you like to practice with blocks or maybe have a towel and water handy, go ahead and grab those things and then meet me on your back. Go ahead and lay in. We can widen the feet and let the knees knock in. Maybe one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Dropping into the earth. Let go of any tension you're holding on to. Soften through the face, the forehead, the eyebrows, the jaw, the tongue. Lift your chin a little bit. Open up that airway. Find your natural breath. As we ground into the earth and meet our bodies exactly as they are, notice what's coming up. If there's anywhere you can soften a little bit more. Notice how the breath feels before we change it. Acknowledging, listening to our bodies throughout our practice, moving intuitively in ways that feel good, pushing ourselves, maybe getting a little uncomfortable, but knowing when something doesn't work for us. Let's go ahead and deepen the breath. Inhale through the nose. Big sigh out the mouth. Big energy, new clean air coming in. All the way into the belly. And then exhale, stale air out, sigh. Changing the breath if it feels okay to breathe through the nose. Ujjayi pranayama breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Feel that vibration on the back of the throat, the internal heat that creates. Elongating the breathing. And also trying to match your inhales to your exhales. One more like that. Maybe even holding a moment at the top of the breath. Exhaling completely. Holding a few moments at the bottom of the breath as you feel the toning of the core as you push out. Go ahead and float the eyes open. Bring the hands over the shoulders and just circle the wrists both directions. Kind of flow. And then bring those feet up to sky and do the same thing. Circle, maybe figure eights, maybe little swimming strokes, vertical and lateral. And then we're gonna bounce and blink those fingers, bounce the knees and hips for 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw the knees in. See if you can grab your ankles or your feet for a happy baby, dropping through the tailbone, lifting the chin a little, draw the shoulders back as you pull the knees in, and energy right back into the hands. Go ahead and release that. Give yourself a nice big hug. Tuck the chin, grab onto the shins, tuck the chin. Draw the knee and the knees and nose towards one another. Pull your palms forward. Tight compression tuck, waking up the core. And then bring your hands over your head and your feet hip distance. Lift up through the hips. You can bring your hands over your head, stacking one palm, just squeezing the glutes as you pull the ribs down. It's a really low active bridge, not really focusing on any kind of back bend, but focusing on squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings, pressing into your feet. Roll down. Tuck the knees into the chest, reach your arms forward, nose towards knees, compression, thighs on belly. Release the hands over the head, bring your feet, ground them, and lift up through the hips. Maybe a little bit higher, feeling the quads and hip flexors. So you tuck the pelvis and pull the hips towards the ribs. Lower down one more time. This time, let's tuck the knees in towards the armpits and make this a reverse crow. Pull your palms up, shoulders off the mat. Tuck your heels in and ground one more time into your bridge pose. Maybe lifting up through the heart a little bit, creating a little more of a back bend, using your whole backside. Imagine drawing your inner thighs, scissoring them towards one another, and then little pulse release for 4, 3, 2, hold, lower down. Bring your upper body off the mat as you reach forward, and then shoot the legs out in a low boat. Firm the quads, tuck the chin. Can we pull ourselves up to half boat? Bending the knees, calves and shins parallel to the earth. One big breath here. We're gonna grab onto our shins or ankles and pull the feet in. Try to roll our shoulders forward and lift up into Malasana. Use your hands if you need to. Pry the knees apart. Push the chest through the shoulders and open up through that heart, hips, ankles. See how it feels to just explore. Shifting, lifting one heel, lifting the other. If you have nice range of motion in your ankles, hips, and knees, maybe trying to drip one knee down and then pull it in. Lift, really big toe stretch. See if you can lift onto the knee and pull back. You can also internally rotate and externally rotate. Again, just exploring movement. So if you want to dip that knee down and it doesn't feel right or you're not balanced, put your fingertip down, pull it in and out. Put your fingertips down and then see if you can send the hip forward and roll back. Bring your hands down, jump back, come into tabletop. Meet me here, swoosh from side to side. Move through some cat-cows. Inhale, lift, head, chest, tailbone. Exhale, curl. Lift, proud chest, energizing breath. Exhale, push the earth, round the spine, tuck the pelvis under. Come into neutral, and then again, just kind of rock, sway, move. Maybe the head and the shoulders want to go for the ride. You could take some barrel circles. Just get a little weird. Move around. We'll take a moment to counter stretch and stretch on the wrists. So bring yourself back into kneeling and just take the top of your hand down, palms up. Little pressure there. See how that feels. Then bring your fingertips backwards. Rock in a little bit. Big breath in and out. Different directions, possibly coming back through table, so a little bit of more weight in the hands. Different directions. Spread your fingers. Always helpful to really spread and grip down. This will recruit the forearm muscles. Also, if you're pushing down, wrapping your elbow crease forward and lifting out of the hands, you'll be a lot lighter in the hands. Let's sit our hips back, gaze ahead. We're gonna bend the elbows into knees, chest, chin as you slide forward. Bend, stay low, and then find knees, chest, chin, stay low. Slip back, 3. So we'll start with bent elbows and then pull the heart forward and bring the hips forward. 2, waking up through that upper body strength. Shift, bend, 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 knees, chest, chin, hold. Now, roll the pelvis through, cobra. Take your fingertips wide and do a couple cobra rolls. Chin up last, chin down last. Inhale, exhale. Stack your palms, flex your right foot and hamstring curl. Now see if you can pick your knee and quad off the mat. Firing to the back body again. 4, lift, 3, lift, 2, lift, 1. Slip your left hand out, right hand by chest, and spin for that shoulder stretch. Scorpion flip. Still using the hamstring to curl back. Head heavy, little compression on the left shoulder. Come back, straighten out. Stack your palms, flex your left foot, bend your knee. Try to lift. See what kind of space you can get by really pulling the hip, the quad off the mat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk your right hand lateral of your shoulder, left hand by chest, push away. Scorpion flip, hamstring curl, reach those toes towards the right pinky. Couple breaths here. Feeling that right shoulder externally rotate, head heavy, knee up, lengthening through the hip flexor and quad, and then unwind. Whew. Hands by chest, upward facing dog or cobra. Maybe you lift off. Exhale, tuck the chin, downward facing dog. Paddle your down dog. Sway your hips. Move organically. Lengthen those hamstrings back out after the work there. So you can pedal, lift high and low. Remember to press into those fingers. Draw your chest towards your toes. Your knees might be bent, your heels might be lifted. That is a perfect down dog modification. If you don't feel more comfortable or you're not ready to lower a little deeper. You want to work with where you are in your practice, never forcing any positions. Let's walk the feet a little closer, slip the right foot up, bend the knee, stack the hip. Hip circles out, down, and stack. A couple times there. And then we'll work in reverse. Knees meet from the bottom, abduct, stack, and down. Out and around, make a big circle. Good, re-extend, square hips, step in between the fingers or up towards the thumbs. And you're gonna find a little 90-90 lunge. Slip the right arm up, now it's a twisting 90-90. Hug the knee in, draw the right hip back. So from this 90-90, we're gonna sweep into gate pose. So you'll need to maneuver your feet and knees the direction away from where you're going. So your back foot is gonna turn to the right and your body's gonna go to the left. Sweep and open. Gate pose towards your left. Tuck the pelvis. Feel the side body, maybe even drop the head. Shake it out. Come back the way you went in. Sweep to the front of your mat and pull your left toes behind you. Twisting lunge. One more time. Take your foot and sweep it to the right as you turn to the left and find your gate pose. Widen your feet and arm for more space. Maybe abduct using your outer thighs and come on back. Plant your hands down, tuck your toes, step back through downward facing dog. Let's vinyasa in between. Round into plank. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Heart and gaze forward, lift, up dog. Shoulders down and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot high, bend the knees, stack the hips. Peel that left hip open, now move out, abduct, knees meet, lift 3 times like that. Starting from the top, now knees meet. 3 circles from the bottom, abduct and lift the knee. Take it to the side, to the sky, to meet one more time, circle. Re-extend, square the hips, step forward towards those thumbs, and drop into 90-90. Take your right hand down and your left arm up, finding that little twisting 90-90, hug the knee in and draw the left hip away. Push into those fingers. So from here, we're taking gate pose. We're gonna sweep to the right, bring your right foot to the left. Sweep and open it up. Explore some movement. Pushing the hips forward, lengthening the side body, and then sweep back around. Unwind your foot towards the back of the mat, right foot to the back, hug the left knee in, twist, twist, twist. Spin to the right, your right foot goes left, and we open into that side gate pose, maybe with abduction this time, and you can just play with releasing the neck, lifting and lowering, cinching up the bottom obliques, and coming back home, right toes to the back, hands down, step back. Downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa before we start our flow. Roll forward to plank. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, elbows to ribs. Heart and gaze forward. Toes back, up dog, or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Whew. All right, walk your feet a little closer. Right toes up. Flex your toes. We're gonna pull our right toes towards our right wrist by pushing the mat forward, scooping into that femur and hip, up, up, up. Can you tap your toe to wrist? Now, right toes up, cross your right ankle over your left, shift your weight onto your right foot and sit into a little side plank squat. Pulling your hips down, you might even sit. More weight is in your right foot, your left foot can be lifted. Go right back into it. So you'll want to step back onto the left foot and elevate the right again. So step onto the left, kick the right. Let's do that 2 more times so you get to know it. Right toes to right wrist. Push, 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 hug. Quad hip flexor core. Lift and then cross ankles. Pull your hips to the left as your weight goes into your right foot. Bend and maybe send the left foot back. And you can sit if you need a break on that left shoulder or wrist. Otherwise, you're elevated. You're gonna walk back to your left foot. Kick the right toes up. Down dog split last time. Take your right toes to your right wrist. Split. Cross ankles. Sit on your right foot and then find your little, we'll call it a side plank squat. All right, from side plank squat, grab right hand on left foot like a stirrup. See if you can make a half goddess or half malasana and half flying warrior. So it doesn't have to be very flexible. You can just try to pull that foot right in front of you, or you can really go for trying to pull the foot towards the front of the mat. See what you have. So hand to foot, push down into the right foot and left hand. Pry the knee open and then see if you can pull the foot towards you. We're gonna sweep down and come into that 90-90 lunge again. This time, open your foot a little bit, drop into a little lizard lunge with your hands inside your left foot. You can drop in. If you have more space to give with your back hip flexor and quad, walk the toes back a little bit. Good, see how that feels. You might lift back onto your hands. You might lower to forearms. We are going to kick through. Come onto your hands, widen your right fingers off your mat. Step on the right toes, and then lift the hips and swing the right foot forward. Bring everything in nice and close. Drop into the left sit bone, seated twist. Turn to your left. You can just hug your hand around your knee. The crease of the elbow wraps into that knee, and we turn away. Pushing into the back fingers or palm. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Flex the front toes, engage the quad. Now take a forward fold. Pull your left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Reach out for those toes. If you can't grab the toes, whatever's there. Good, take one more breath here, and then seamlessly, see if you can let the left knee peel out and the foot to the inside of the thigh. And then you might have a little more space for your fold, possibly. See how that feels. We're going back out the way we went in. Curl yourself up, pull your left foot onto the mat, your right hand onto the mat. Create space so we can push the shoulder down, elevate the foot. We're going to tap our toe down and come all the way into standing with the right foot up. We have figure four. Cross your right ankle over your left quad. See how your hips feel here, externally rotating. You might sit into a deeper chair to really facilitate a deeper rotation here. Stretch. See how that feels. We're moving into half lotus. You're gonna take your right hand on your right ankle, left hand on your foot, and as we lift up, try to stand straight. Zip that foot up. Can we find our right foot around the hip crease, maybe towards the hip bone or a little below, and you can hold on to this foot as long as you need to. If you can let go, that's another option. Imagine sending this right hip out and down as the knee opens. Options, stay here or soften through the left knee and try to fold forward. Lotus, fold, half lotus fold, head heavy. Let gravity take over. Keep actively kind of opening the hip to the right. Soften the knee. Bring your palms up and your gaze forward and see if you can come back to standing. All right, now this foot is gonna go behind for Shiva. Release it, cross it back. Shiva squat, plant the foot down. Right foot to the left, side stretch. Woo. A lot of balance today, a lot of hips. Pull the right hip forward, reach. Now, right arm is gonna sweep to the right foot, that's crossed there, or a block. And then left arm is gonna pull internal rotation, take the thumb behind you, and then push the palm away as you twist. You might even bring your right hand towards your right toes, or again, a block might be really helpful right here. Twist. Beautiful. Unwind your twist. Pull back through that Shiva. All right, more balance. We're gonna try this flying half moon. So from Shiva, can we start to open the hips and reach the arms up high? Use your outer thigh. We'll call this flying half moon. Scoop into the belly, hold, and then land in warrior two. We did it. Lengthen the tailbone. Draw the knee to the right. Pull the arms in opposition. See where your pose can go. Drop into that back pinky. Ground into the earth. Squeeze into the core. Just find your strength right from the middle. Step forward to chair pose. Utkatasana. And then up to mountain. Hands to heart center and down by your sides. Take a calming breath. Your heart rate may be a little elevated. Maybe you widen your stance and you kind of get the shakes and wiggles out. Any movement, some shoulder rotation, neck circles. Again, just kind of getting weird, kind of dancing, swaying, jumping maybe. And then we'll come back into stillness. Coming into your Tadasana, let's make a couple little circles in the upper spine, so the thoracic. We'll take our arms to the right and then lift to the left. Curl forward, dropping the shoulders forward, up and around. And then let's do that with wide feet. See how that feels to just swoosh and drop. Swoosh, heart up. So we don't want to feel like we're just dumping into the low back. Pull your energy up and away for a nice even back bend. Little side stretches. Cross your left foot to the right and grab your left wrist for 4, and then walk it across for 3. Find that edge and come back. Sweep it over, grab your left wrist. 2. Sweep your right foot over, grab your right wrist. 1. come back. Let's flow and do the other side. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, swan dive. Over the legs, bend the knees, drape your head forward, shake it out. Using core strength for your halfway fold, can we lift our arms forward and really scoop into the abdominals? Bend the knees if you need to, or straight. Now bend the knees, plant the hands, jump back. If you're not jumping today, you can always step back, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shake out that head, connect to the breath. We'll do the left side and then we add on to this flow. Sweep your left foot up. All right, so we're gonna bend the knee, stack the hip, and then try to touch our left toes on our left wrist. Scoop out lateral, reach your toes forward, hug that femur and hip into the hip socket, tap your toe and come back quite hard. You might have to bend the knee. Now, sweep that left foot behind the right ankle. So now your ankles are crossed. Shift your weight onto that top left foot as you pull the hips towards the heel in that side plank squat. You might pick up the right foot. You might just completely sit. Step on the right, left foot back up. All right, we got it. Try it 2 more times. We can start from either a big lifted shape, moving abduct sideways, and then to the wrist. Scoop up, cross ankles. Shift weight onto the top foot, the left foot, as you slip the right foot forward. Step on the right, left foot to sky. Last time. Tap it in. Ankle or toes to wrist. Now lift, now cross ankles. Shift onto your left foot. We're gonna pick up the right foot in our hand. Grab it. If you need to sit, shake out the right wrist. Whatever you need to do. Think of half goddess, half flying warrior. Open up the knee and hip and then pull the foot either straight forward, less flexibility, with a bent knee, straight forward, or towards your face, towards the front of the mat. Push the shoulder down, plant into that left foot, take a breath. Turn your body down, step on the right foot, drop onto the knees. Shake out that wrist. All right, walk your hands inside, wiggle your right toes a little wider, and then maybe you drop into forearms, release the head. I'm gonna have you take your left knee and just kind of walk it back by bringing your toes down and then walking your knee back to where it feels good for a deeper lizard lunge. If that feels too intense, come back onto your hands. We will come back onto the hands anyway for the kick through, but just kind of explore shapes. Wiggling side to side, forward, back, hips, shoulders. Go ahead and lift. Left hand wide. Fingers can even point sideways. Step on the back toe and we'll push down, step on the right foot and thread that foot through the open space. Have a seat. Pull the foot in, sit up tall, flex those toes. You can just take your elbow crease around your knee, reach your right fingers or palm back. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist as you ground into both sit bones, pulling the belly back to deepen the twist. Unwind, take your right shoulder inside the knee and see if you can find your chin, your ankle, your toes. You could drop in with your head. Keeping an active inner thigh, pulling the knee onto your shoulder, and then maybe wiggling your foot in and your knee out to external rotation, thinking of like a half tree or a tree pose here. Shimmy your heart forward. You probably can get a deeper forward fold with your hip and external rotation. Feel that left hamstring lengthen here and the hip, lengthen the spine, never forcing your way into any of these stretches. Good. As we lift, we're gonna step back onto the right foot, left hand outside the mat. Elevate your hips, step on the right. Coming through a quick toe tap standing, tap your left foot, and then stand. Left foot up, flex toes, figure four. Try to sit down as your left hip now rotates. Sink in. See where that feels good. Maybe kind of pulse in and out. See if you can get a little more space. Right hand on right foot, left hand on left ankle. Zip your foot up the body as you try to straighten out your shoulders over your hips. Then rotate your hip and knee down as you find a half lotus. See how that feels. You might continue to hold the foot. It might feel like it's gonna slip off. Maybe if you soften the right knee a little bit, you can let go. Either way, hold a few breaths or try to take it into a fold. Again, hinging at the hip, bending the knee, and then draping your body over if that's there for you. You can continue to hold the foot if you need to. Continue to breathe. When you're ready to come out, bend the right knee, gaze forward. Slowly pull your palms up to heart center, if you can, or keep holding onto that foot. All right, I know it's a lot on this right foot. We're gonna take this foot behind, release to Shiva, and then set it down to the right. Ooh, maybe you need to shake out that right calf, ankle, toes. Good, so from your twist, we'll reach up and over to the right. Side bend. And then fold and bring that left arm towards left toes or a block here. You're gonna pull your thumb to the back of you, so behind you, and internally rotate the shoulder. As you push the palm away, you can try to keep twisting. Breathe. And unwind, flat back. Shiva, a little more balance. Pull the knees to meet. And then high flying half moon. Reach your arms over your head. Flex out the back toes and try to stack your shoulders, ribs, and hips. Step down, warrior two. Maybe widen your stance, draw the knee out. Lengthen that tailbone. Pull the pelvis forward a little bit, shoulders down, and reaching your arms nice and long. Good. Find that grounding in the feet, the power from your core, and strong legs. And then step forward to chair pose. Slip. Utkatasana, mountain. Shake everything out. Come out of just holding everything tense. See if you can soften. Might be a good place to take a sip of water, take a pause, or we're gonna go back into the flow, moving a lot quicker. Since you've seen all the moves, we're not gonna repeat things. We're gonna go a little bit faster and add on to the flow. Okay, mountain pose, let's go. Inhale, we rise. Option for a back bend at the top. Exhale, we swan dive, forward fold, lengthen, and release. Halfway lift, reach your arms forward. I want you to really feel the core here, fire. Bend and land, jump or step back. Plank or chaturanga, or any variation of your flow. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do this. Right leg up high. All right, so we're gonna take that foot, reach our right toes out and tap the wrist. Lift the toes, cross your ankles. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Sit your hips back towards your heel. Grab your foot, right hand to left foot. Slip that foot forward. Maybe you straighten out a little bit. So if you have more space, maybe it looks more like a flying warrior, flying split. Good, take your foot down and then rotate your hands inside. Lizard lunge. Crawl your knee back, maybe drop in just for a moment. Then stack your shoulder over your hand. We're stepping forward. Lift the hips, kick through. Seated twist, one breath. Flex the front toes, turn back. Forward fold, one breath. Hug the knee in, reach for those toes or whatever's there. Going into your standing figure four. Straighten out the spine, right hand down. Maybe your right toes never touch the ground. Maybe they just kind of tap off like a kickstand. Sweep up, tap off, figure four. Stand and fold. Getting here a lot quicker this time. From your figure four, grab on, zip it up to half lotus. See how it feels this time. Hold your half lotus. We're not gonna fold this time. We're gonna take that knee right behind to Shiva. Soften the left knee, take the knee behind. Shiva, side stretch to the left, right foot to the left, and then sweep and spiral, right hand towards right toes. Internally rotate the shoulder and push it, your hand behind you. Come right back out. Shiva, connect the knees. Flying half moon, take your time. You might fall out a bunch, that's okay. Fly, lift, abduct, warrior two. Plant down. All right, take your crease of your thumb and we're gonna send it into the hip crease. Take your right hand behind your back. Can you wiggle your fingers out? Grab your wrist. See if that's there for you. If not, wherever your hands can go, we're gonna go back into that half moon. Drag your right toes in and find your balance. Find a comfortable focal point. Shaking, shaking. Try to stack your shoulders, ribs, and hips. Maybe find another focal point. You got it. We're gonna unwind, unwrap your hands, bring your back knee down, and twist your lunge. You can keep those back right toes tucked if you like. Pull in opposition and then tuck the pelvis. Now, from this left side, we're gonna open to the right like we did in the warm-up. Turn your right toes and find your gate pose stretch towards your right. Right hand to the back of the mat. Push your hips forward and you might even swivel your heart back a little bit. So neutral stack, maybe sweep back. Opening up the chest, elbow. Come back the way you went in. We're gonna turn ourselves forward, bring your right toes behind you, and then high twisting lunge to the left. Scissor those inner thighs, shoulders over hips. See if you can straighten that back knee. One breath here, turn back to the right, Skandasana. You might want to sit for a moment and get off of those feet, and you can use your hands to help you out there. Take a breath or two. From this Skandasana, we're going to do a half crow, where your right knee is going to come into your armpit, and we'll keep the left foot down, so you'll have 3 points of balance. Lift your hips, plant your hands down, lift your butt, plant your left toes down. Can you pull the right knee onto the tricep or into the armpit? Then shift your weight into your left foot and both hands and pull the right knee up, hamstring curl, heel to butt. Push your shoulders, push down, lift your hips, lift your heel up, up, up. Now land the foot, come off and sweep to a wide leg fold. Good, get comfortable here. You might pigeon toe your toes in. You might completely just let the head hang. So you have options to just move organically. Hands can reach back, around, forward, twists, all kinds of shapes. If you want to make go upside down and invert yourself, that is another option. If you want to fix your hair, go for that. So you are exploring shapes here. If you do come into a supported headstand, try to put a lot of weight into your shoulders and elbows and really no weight at all into the head. You might even be able to press so strongly that you pull it up to pincha. And then bring your head down and your feet back. So just options. We're gonna crawl to the front of the mat in lizard, coming back to lizard lunge. Bring your knee down. Bound lizard, take your left shoulder, wiggle it under the left knee, and then see if you can straighten the arm and bend it around the back of the left hip. Take your right arm and see if you can find your fingers, some kind of bind, maybe lifting off of your right knee. Trying to square your shoulders forward, gaze forward, dropping in, maybe starting to bend a little deeper. Beautiful. Take your right hand down. That kick through is going to happen again. Kick it through to boat. Meet me in boat pose. All right, we're going to take it into plow. Please be mindful if this bothers your neck at all. We want to use the core strength to make the plow happen. So roll onto the back. Bring your feet over your head, maybe to the ground, chin away from chest. Again, this should not bother your neck. We're gonna pull your palms forward and then lift. I can feel my core firing. Slowly roll down using your abdominal strength, a little bit of tricep help. Shoulders, elbows, vertebrae, oof, 5 vertebrae. Rock yourself back to boat. One more time. Plow. Arms over, maybe you grab your feet. Pull your palms forward, lower down slowly. 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knees, lift your hips, find bridge. Oof, open that back out. You might wiggle your shoulders and try to touch your fingers towards your heels, still activating your inner thighs. Chin away from chest, puffing up through that front body with engagement of the back side, posterior chain. Whew, release. All right, some rock and rolls back to boat pose. You have the option to try to rock yourself into crow pose or mallets. So a few times into a half or full boat, and then maybe on the next one, we try to bring your feet and hands down, lift your butt, pull your knees onto your arms, shift forward. Maybe you stay here today. Or you see if you can come on to the hands and lift your heels in. Good, push the shoulders down, lift the hips by using core strength. Hold, hold, hold. And then up to you to get into your vinyasa. And I'll give us a little rest here in child's pose. Whew, before we finish this up on the other side, take time to decompress, breathe into the back, circle the wrists, wiggle the spine. Remember, you can always hit pause if you need longer breaks. You are listening to your body. This is not a competition. These movements should feel fun and playful. Definitely challenging, but should never stress you out when you're taking yoga. Like, I don't know what she's doing. Then just slow down, do your own thing. Move in ways that feel good. All right, stretch out the wrists. I know my classes are a bit complex, and it's even harder when you're watching a video and can't see my body moving live with you from 3D. So just do the best you can. Spread your fingers. Meet me in down dog. Let's finish this up. Left toes to sky. High, reach, extend. Left toes to left wrist. Plug in. Femur up, hip socket. Pull, core, shoulder strength. Lift. Cross ankles. Shift your weight into that top foot, the left foot, and then pull the right foot out. Sit. Grab hold of the foot. Either pull the foot forward with that bent knee, in front of you or to the front of the mat. And if you like, you could try to wiggle that back foot straight as well. Take it to your level. Doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Pull that foot under, lift the hips. Come onto the knee, and then wiggle yourself into lizard lunge. Maybe walking the knee back behind the hip now, opening it up, dropping in. Again, a nice place maybe for a little wrist stretching, releasing. And we're gonna add that kick through in. Left hand wide. Step on the back toes, lift the hips, step onto the right foot and left hand, swing the left foot forward. Have a seat and find your twist. Just a breath, rotate to the right, flex your front toes, inhale, exhale. Plant your body forward, shoulder and inside of the knee meet, forward fold, a breath. Coming back the way you went in, this time coming up to standing figure four. So maybe this left foot never touches down. Hips up, swing back, come up to standing. Figure four, cross ankle and sit in your chair. One more breath here. Deep in the shape, grab onto your foot and your ankle and then straighten out. Zip that heel up. See if you can pull the foot towards the hip crease and then rotate the left hip down. Feel that external rotation, half lotus. Maybe soften the knee and see if you can leave the foot there. And then we'll release this foot into Shiva, one-legged squat, rotate, squat. Send the left toes to the right side, stretch, reach powerfully over to the right like a bow and arrow. And then spiral left arm around to left toes. Push the thumb to the back of the room. Internally rotate the shoulder and sweep it back, away from you, behind you. One more breath here. Unwind. Heart and gaze forward, knees meet, Shiva. Flying half moon, flying, floating, reaching up, abduct, warrior two, plant down. Take your thumb, the web of your thumb, put it in your hip crease. Take your left hand behind and see if you can grab your wrist. Good, peeling the left shoulder back. Then drag your left toes forward, charge into your half moon. Try to stack your shoulders. If you fall out, no big deal. Try again. Stack your shoulders, ribs, and hips. We're going to unwind, turn your body, unravel, unwrap. Take your knee down. Whew. Twisting lunge to the right, hug your right knee in. You can keep those toes tucked under. Also think of trying to tuck your pelvis and pull your arms apart. Now spin to your left. Let your left foot go to the right like we did in the warm-up. Spin and open. Any variation here of gate pose with abduction, dropping the foot, dropping the head, or trying to spiral a little bit into a back bend. So spinning the heart up, reaching behind you. Oof. Come back. Good, going in the way we went, or going out the way we went in. Lift, turn your left toe to the back. And this time, pick it up off the knee for high lunge. High twisting lunge. Again, pelvis tucks, inner thighs scissor, arms pull apart. This time we just turn to Skandasana. Turn to the left, bend the left knee. You might stay here. You might want to just sit it down and relax for a moment or two. So if you have that mobility or you need to use your hands, go ahead and get to seated. And then moving into that half crow, three point of balance crow, I don't know what to call it. crow prep. Here we go. Kind of a flying crow prep. We'll bring our hands down and lift our hips. Plant your right foot down. You might bring it in a little bit. We're gonna put our left knee on our tricep or into our armpit and then shift forward into the fingertips. Hug the left knee in, gaze forward, push the shoulders down. Really a lot of strength in the shoulders, even though you have this training wheel down here on the right foot. One more breath. Put the foot down. Sweep yourself to the middle, turn your toes in, and just relax. You have anything you want to do here. Forward fold, pull through, spiral. Maybe it's a little bit of a puppy pose where you pull your feet out and sink your chest through. The floor is so slippery, I just almost ended up in a middle split. All right, just find your breath. If you want to work an inversion, maybe you go upside down again. Let's see. All right, as we go out of this pose, we turn home, drop the knee, lizard lunge one more time. Walk the back knee away, and then pull your right shoulder underneath your knee. See if you can slide that right arm through this open space and thread it back towards the hips. Adjust yourself as much as you need to. Take your left hand, see if you can find your fingers, your hands, your wrists, and then maybe slowly try to lift off the back knee. Good. Maybe you sink into the hips a little bit, gaze forward. Breathe here. Stay strong. We're gonna kick through. You're almost done. Fight. Left hand comes down. Unwrap your right hand. Kick through to seated. Find your boat pose. Oh yeah, we did it. Nice, strong, powerful boat. Toes over for plow. Take your time. Good. Hold a breath or two. Bring your palms forward. Roll out with control. Using your core, your triceps, your shoulders. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Release. All right, so we're gonna try to go from plow to bridge. See if that works for you. And it'll help to stag your legs. So, toes over for plow. Wiggle your shoulders a little bit closer, chin away from chest. Take your hands on your sides. You don't want them under because you might kind of make your wrists and fingers or thumbs go in weird ways. So what we're gonna do is lift the hips a bit and just keep your hands off to your side. Stag the legs, and then use just your thumb and see if you can stag your way to the ground. Both feet come down. Take your hands possibly into a bind under the body, hugging your inner thighs towards one another. Engage your glutes, puff up through the whole front body. Get that nice stretch. Whew. Release your hands, unwind. All right, we are gonna do a couple rock and rolls. You have the option to rock up to boat, bent knee, straight knee, 3 times. You have that option to rock up, roll into crow pose one more time. Oh, fight, fight, fight. Maybe you go into that crow, lift your hips before you push forward. So your butt's way up there and you have this nice tall crow. Hold. Good, come back through boat pose. Circle the wrists. Back through plow. Toe tap overhead. Use your core. Nice work. And then your option, if you want to try stagging the other leg, kind of wiggle your elbows and shoulders, just the thumbs behind the back, the back ribs, or sorry, back hips. So maybe you stag the other way. We push the hips up, Puff up through the chest, reach those toes down, 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 and we find our bridge. If you feel like you want to go for wheel, maybe you take a wheel pose. You can stop a moment on the head, get off your hair, and then maybe you push up. It helps to pick up your heels. You'll get a little more space for lifting with high heels. Push your chest towards the back of you. It's a big front body opener, including hip flexors, quads, shoulders. Tuck the chin to come out and let your feet land. You might still be exploring shapes, or just wash your knees side to side while you circle the wrists. We did it. I want you to explore any last movements your body is craving, whether that's more back bends, maybe shoulder stand, any inversions, or just some relaxing shapes, maybe some twists. This is your yogi's choice time. Make sure to give yourself a couple of minutes for some creative movement, whether it's just little stretches, flowy, or again, any kind of harder shapes since your body is fully active. Feel free to hit pause as you explore, or I am going to just set us up for a quick shavasana. And again, if you have more time and you want to really deepen into your meditation, the pose where we really seal in our yoga practice, allowing our bodies and minds time to rest, heal, repair. So important, don't skip it, even if it's just 1 minute of stillness. Come into a comfortable position. Pick up your shoulders and head, chin up, nice open airway. So you can bring your hands out, fingers curled in. Maybe your feet are wide, your knees are knocking in, or we come into that corpse pose. Feet wide, plopping out to the sides, allowing your hips and ankles to just relax. Shoulders heavy, away from the ears. Allow the earth to completely support your weight. Relax the muscles in the face. Sometimes we are frowning and clenching our jaw and we don't even realize it. Find that softness. Let the belly rise and fall. I'm going to leave you here today. I just want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Hope you had fun exploring movement and shapes. Hope you feel strong and energized and maybe a little wiped out too. Please leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. I don't get a lot of feedback, so let me know if you made it to the end. Give me a shout out, even if it's just to say hi, I made it. Thanks so much for joining me. The light in me honors the light in you. I'll see you really soon.